A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Mark, chapter 1, verses 40 to 45. Passage taken from the Message version of the Bible. A leper came to him, begging on his knees, "If you want to, you can cleanse me." Deeply moved, Jesus put out his hand, touched him, and said, "I want to. Be clean." Then and there the leprosy was gone, his skin smooth and healthy. Jesus dismissed him with strict orders. "Say nothing to anyone. Take the offering for cleansing that Moses prescribed and present yourself to the priest. This will validate your healing to the people." But as soon as the man was out of earshot, he told everyone he met what had happened, spreading the news all over town. So Jesus kept to out-of-the-way places, no longer able to move freely in and out of the city. But people found him and came from all over. The Gospel of the Lord. Reflections on the Gospel according to Mark, chapter 1, verses 40 to 45. A week ago, we have reflected on the miracle of Jesus healing the leper by touching him. It was on last Friday, and we read from the Gospel of Luke, chapter 5. We reflected on the courage of the leper who breached the social norms to approach Jesus, and also the compassion and love of Jesus who also breaks the social restrictions to touch a leper. Imagine the untold miseries that people have been living through all over the world during these pandemic times, with a prohibition to touch. Think of how it affects children, students, couples, parents, friends, and the faithful. Not only is the touch prohibited, even physical proximity is viewed with suspicion and fear. If this is the case in our times, which boasts of the best healthcare facilities, imagine the miseries of a socially outcast leper of Jesus' times. But Jesus knew how to present this dreaded illness as the best opportunity to teach his followers to care for the sick, the poor, and the outcasts. By reaching out to the leper, Jesus faces the risk of contagion and legal impurity. Yet he breaks the social distancing imposed by the authorities and dares to touch the leper. That was strictly prohibited. But Jesus does not heal from a distance. Through this sign, more than the healing, Jesus gives us a comforting assurance that he shares our infected nature. A few years ago, while talking about almsgiving, Pope Francis had once said, "The way of giving alms is as important as the gift. You should not simply drop a bill into a cup and walk away. You must stop, look the person in the eyes, and touch his or her hands." Wow! Would I dare to make an attempt today? Perhaps through the Gospel today, Jesus invites us to relive the miracle. Father Paulson Villianur, a Claretian missionary and clinical psychologist, recently published an article on the sacramentality of touch during these pandemic times. In the article, Father Paulson explains that any loss or failure in life is bearable if someone can hug us or simply place an arm around our shoulders. Do not lovers spend hours holding hands without having to speak anything at all? He further talks about God and the Eucharist. Without touch, God is a monologue, an idea, a philosophy. He must touch and be touched, the tongue on flesh. Indeed, the Eucharist today is God's skin-to-skin embrace. In the Eucharist, Jesus continues to touch us so personally and comforts us with his message. "I want to make you clean. I want you to be happy.